Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the April 30th edition of WAtv. We are coming to you today from Studio 22. I'm Izzy.
And I'm Alexis, and today we're going to give you a baby update, hear about a new addition to the science area, and give you a few announcements. But first, Edward got a chance to talk to the man in charge of our entire computer infrastructure here at WA, Mr. Vishanoff.
I was 12 when I left my home in France. My parents were working there, and I hated the school I was going to, so I got on a train with my big sister and went away to boarding school in West Germany. It was East and West Germany back then. It was a different political environment. The Iron Curtain still very much divided Europe. Living in Germany 40 years after the end of the Second World War, you can imagine there are still plenty of people there who had fought, and they had fought us, the Americans, so it created an interesting dynamic. It wasn't always easy being away from my parents. It can be hard, so kudos to you international students who live so far from home and deal with this day by day. I was glad to be there. It was a good adventure, but there were some hard times, even cross-culturally, trying to navigate living in Germany. I didn't speak German very well at all. I remember going for a haircut and had no idea what to tell the lady to do, So I just walked out with a haircut, and that was sufficient, had to make do with that. But what I've realized, 30 years later, I can look back on my experience and see that God was faithful. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. It's God who makes our path straight. It's He who grants us success. There's a command with a promise that if we trust in the Lord with all our heart, He makes our path straight. There's a warning about trusting in our own understanding. Funny thing, in high school, I was voted most likely to succeed. Here I am, Wheaton Academy IT guy, and by a lot of standards, that's not a very high degree of success, right? Not financially, probably not career-wise. But that's okay. The kingdom of God defines success differently. The kingdom of God defines success as obedience to God's calling on our lives. And there's no safer and no better and no richer place to live than living by faith, trusting in the Lord, and it's He who makes our path straight. And I'm fully confident for you high schoolers right now that if you trust in the Lord, and you submit to Him, He will make your path straight. Obedience to God's call is our recipe for success in high school and thereafter.
From taking care of our broken surfaces to fixing internet and printing issues, we want to thank Mr. Vishanoff for making this school a better place. Now let's get to a couple of announcements. This Tuesday, after the soccer game, there will be an outdoor worship night in front of the White Chapel. It will be a great night to reset focus on the Lord as we enter a high-stress time of the school year.
Our Furnace Company team has a show this Friday night. Drew Donasso created a special commercial for the event.
I didn't join Furnace Company to be cool, to make a statement. I joined to showcase the gifts that God has given me. I joined because I liked it.
Catch their show on Friday night here in the Fine Arts Center. Admissions is $5. Just over 2 months ago, WAtv announced the birth of 3 babies. This week, Aaron Tevens and Quinn Partain caught up with the parents to give us a baby update. Check it out.
Mrs. Perry, what is the most surprising thing about your newborn baby?
Well, many of you know that my son has killer blonde hair and came out with a mohawk. And I was expecting maybe something similar. And when my daughter was born, she was born with jet black hair. And it was amazing.
Mr. Ball, what is one thing you've learned about being a dad for the first time?
I'd say one thing is I've been very impressed with my wife, how she's able to wake up in the middle of the night. I also realized that I always thought it was weird when people did baby talk with babies, and I do it all the time now. So I've learned that about myself.
Mr. Dominguez, how is your newborn baby, Ivy, different than your other kids?
Well, I think right off the bat there, she's got really chubby cheeks, a double chin, and she's about 2 feet long. So, but on outside of that, I love seeing the differences between my kids, and they're all so beautifully unique. Now, right now, she has got this great fountain of joy inside of her, so it's really fun.
Thank you.
Congrats to those parents, and a special congratulations to the newest parent, Mr. Swider. His son, Uriah Wayne, was born 12 days ago. He was 7 pounds and 20.5 inches long. There will be a brief meeting for girls volleyball on Wednesday, May 9th during lunch. Bring your lunch to the meeting and be prepared to discuss your summer schedule and availability. The musical theater performance class has been working hard to prepare for their upcoming musical, Annie. Media arts students got a chance to be in the MTP class and connect with a couple of the students.
Today on WAtv, we are talking to some members of the MTP class about their upcoming production of Annie.
I am Kylie Orphan. I play Grace Farrell in our production of Annie, and one thing I love about MTP is that we are able to grow as a community for the first semester before we even become a cast, and then we can grow even more as a cast and put on a really cool production.
Hi, my name is Ivan Shelton. I play Rooster Hannigan in the MTP show Annie. Something I love about MTP is like a bunch of people coming together. Like some of them maybe don't like musicals as much, but like we're all just here to like hang out and have fun. Like we're putting on like such a good show and we have such a good time and like we make really good memories.
You can see the MTP show on May 10th and 11th. The cast put a lot of hard work into it, so show your appreciation for all their hard work.
We want to thank all of our media arts students for their recent contributions to our WAtv segments. Our visual art department consists of both the media art related fields of graphic design, photography, and video, and also the traditional visual arts of ceramics and illustration. If you didn't notice, there was some new artwork up in the Fine Arts Center atrium as you came in today. Take some time and appreciate the work of your fellow students.
The Spanish 2 class has been studying injustice and wanted to take that learning outside of the classroom. They came to WAtv to see if we would allow them to create a segment for all of you. Of course we said yes. Check out what they put together with the help of Hannah Crow.
That injustice,
justice system in and injustice in our.
Hello, it's Hannah Crow from WAtv. Now, this past semester in my Spanish class, we've been talking a lot about injustice, so we put together this video for you. A lot of times I feel like our idea of injustice is just a little bit backwards.
Injustice. Too often we think injustice is only characterized by a mass genocide or an outrageous act of racism. But what about the person that you've thrown into oblivion who's right in front of you? The person you've excluded, judged, or even the underclassmen who you denied the simple right to have a voice.
We judge each other and make assumptions about each other just based on really trivial things like what we wear, who we're friends with.
Freshman year, I got really bad anxiety and depression through how people at Wayne Academy were treating me based on my class and the way I looked. But then going into sophomore year, a bunch of my friends and family and even my mentor, Grace Sander, came to me and taught me what God's love is really like and how you should really be treated.
As a WAT community, If we use our words, energy, and actions to tear people down, how are we going to make people feel loved and empathize with their actions? I think we should build people up and surround them with love and make them feel wanted and welcomed, because that's what the Christian community is all about.
We cannot stand by while small things that on the surface aren't that bad beat others down, because the stereotypes we use to judge others are the ones that diminish our community and honestly are the things that keep us from growing closer to God.
Here there is no Gentile or Jew, but Christ is all and is in all.
Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience.
Thanks for that video, Spanish class. For our spring sports report this week, here's Simon.
Thanks, guys. We have a lot of sports to cover, so here we go. Volleyball has a 7-3 record on the season, coming off an impressive 2-set victory against Lake Forest Academy. They have 4 matches this week, with a local rivalry game at home against West Chicago on Tuesday starting at 5:30 p.m. Tennis finished in second place in a 16-team tournament downstate. Graham Shelton and Jacob Williams were the second doubles champions, and Ty Krill and Caleb Hoogerheide finished as the third doubles champs. Boys track finished in 4th place at the West Chicago track meet on Thursday night. Nate Beerley finished second in the 300-meter hurdles with a time of 43.5 seconds. And Noah Mayo had a personal best in the 400-meter run with a time of 54.2 seconds. Stephanie Gregerson ran a second-best 5-minute, 28-second 1,600 meters on Thursday night. The girls' track team will have their MSC conference meet on Friday, May 4th at Glenbard South. Softball is 2-7 on the season, but highlighted best last week with a win against Fenton last Thursday. The play at home at Thursday and Friday this week. Lacrosse has 2 big games you could get out and cheer for. They play St. Charles North on Wednesday and Wheaton North on Friday night. Both games are at home and both start at 7 p.m. Girls soccer moved to 8-3-2 with a tie against Wheaton North on Friday night. They have a huge game against Bennett Academy tonight at Bennett. Baseball improved their record to 6-7 on the season with a victory over St. Edwards and Fenton last week. That's all for sports this week. Back to you guys.
For our last segment, Izzy and I took a look at the newest addition to the science area, the aquaponics system.
Hey guys, it's Izzy from WAtv. This week, Alexis Savage and I wanted to highlight a new addition to the Science Center that surprisingly few students know about. So today, we went around and asked people what they knew about aquaponics. Check it out.
The Wildcrats show, like the one the people used to like turn into the water, and the Tortuga. You know, everyone knows Wildcrats. That's my favorite show.
Aquaman? That's a superhero.
Aquaponics. Say that.
No. Wait, what?
Underwater robotics. I have no idea.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, aquaponics is like a new craze. Like, it's gonna feed the world.
I know the root word of that is aqua, and it sounds a lot like agua, so something with water.
The aquaponics system downstairs actually uses hydroponics, and then there's also an aspect where there's living creatures inside of it. So if you have looked at it, you'll see that the first level is plants, and then the bottom 2 levels, there's fish, snails, and turtles. And what it is a system that actually feeds itself. So basically the plants help the fish, and then the fish help the plants. And so it's kind of a full 360.
It's something that was kind of brought here. If you don't know where it is, by the way, it's in the new Science and Technology Center, 1st floor, right outside my room. We got a couple turtles in there now, a koi fish, some little guppies, just some plants. We're just getting started. It's something that Mr. Slawick, Luke Slawick from FONA, it's one of his passions. It's kind of something that he loved growing up. So he builds these things out of old recycled food containers that would just be thrown in a landfill. So he uses them, kind of old food containers, making more food so he can grow like tilapia to eat. Anyway, he brings it by and he says, we'd love to get some Wheaton Academy students involved. He brings it, and so with Greg Whitstock, who is from Aquascapes, helped install it too, who does a lot of pond type things. And so they brought it in and said, have fun, do whatever you want to do with it, grow whatever you can, learn a lot from it, and we can help you if you need any help. So it's out there. You can come by and stop by. You can ask me questions. I can point some things out to you. But yeah, come take a look. It's a super awesome thing that we have just around, and the turtles are getting more friendly all the time. They used to hide all the time, but now they'll poke their heads out when you walk by. So come by, take a look.
And to wrap up today's episode, here's John on 4 things you need to know.
Thanks, Izzy. Let's get to our 4 things. Number 1, Evening in the Furnace is this Friday at 7 p.m. Admission into the event is $5. Number 2, there is less than 2 weeks until our annual junior-senior event. Start making your plans now. Number 3, the results are in from our latest Twitter poll. Coffee narrowly beat out both sugary drinks and fruits and vegetables, coming in with 36% of the vote. And number 4, this past weekend, Wheaton Academy announced its Teacher of the Year award. This year's recipient was Mr. Flinsky. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WAtv for information or leave us comments. That's all for today. Thanks for tuning in to WAtv. From all of us at Studio 22, have a great day.